This pandemic brought so much uncertainty to the people around the globe. There were times that we felt like we are trapped and couldn't even do anything about it. We want to feel better and at least be better by hoping to do things that we once loved, things that will make us feel the eagerness and enthusiasm that we once had. In this video, we are going to finally hear the voices of the students struggling in this time of pandemic. Each student will share how this pandemic affects their well-being and how it affects their academic performance.
Due to pandemic, I've lost my enthusiasm and interest to live as a student.
It makes me feel hopeless.
This pandemic brought me a lot of burden as a student in mental health aspects.
The pandemic has greatly affected my productivity, and since it began, I noticed how every work became overwhelming to me to the point that it takes a lot of tears and days to finish even an essay.
The pandemic affects me in a way that I struggled a lot in learning process.
I can say that I also lose interest with everything aside from doing a household course.
Since the pandemic started, and until now, I can say that I'm still having a hard time at classes. It is hard to focus on my studies since there's a lot of things that is happening in my surroundings.
I have not bonded with my friends and families outside my city. I am like a bird living in a cage which could not fly freely and suffocated from the fact of the unknown and of this catastrophe.
It gave me a lot of pressure.
The pandemic has badly impacted my mental health, and I'm just doing my best to survive by trying to hold on to things that make me feel alive, such as art and music.
I tested positive for COVID and had appendicitis at the same time. That's when my health started to decline as well. I had a really hard time catching up with school, and it made me so socially anxious that I would cry every time I attempt to attend online classes.
This pandemic greatly affects my mental health.
I get demotivated in studying, experience mental breakdowns, and isolating myself from my friends, and I even have thoughts of quitting school.
This pandemic affects me mentally as it reduces my willingness to learn and to cope with the new normal.
I am struggling to understand the online courses to the point that it's affecting my motivation to work hard.
I became more socially isolated.
Parents believe that online class is so simple. Even when I'm studying, they still giving me commands.
I constantly experience academic burnout.
I lost the will to study and my backlogs piled up. I often think about dropping out because I don't think I am learning anything.
The virtual meetings and unstable internet connection really did these times to be challenging and draining.
A roller coaster of emotions. We can confidently say that this is what the pandemic brought to us. All of us are having a hard time to cope up, to adjust, to understand what is really happening, to somehow realize that we are not alone. We are pushing ourselves to keep moving forward with the thought that everything will be okay soon. We have to remind ourselves that our emotions are valid. We should just let ourselves feel those emotions and try not to be too hard on ourselves. What we are experiencing right now is something that we cannot control. It's not our fault. It's hard, but always remind yourself that by just doing your best is more than enough for you to feel proud of yourself. You are trying, and that's what matters. This pandemic will be over, and soon we will be able to do the things that we love without any setbacks. For everyone, we are already struggling to survive, and the least we can do is not to be too hard on ourselves. Again, there are things that we cannot control, and we shouldn't blame ourselves for it. Be kind to the people around you, because just like you, they are also fighting their own battles that some choose to fight alone and endure in silence. Lastly, be kind to yourself. This will be your reason.
希望与爱从未离开， 阳光终将会驱散阴霾，别怕孤单，加以制裁。